Okay, today I want to talk a little bit about sales. Now, a lot of people say they hate sales, and the truth is, no money is ever made until a sale is made, ever. Never has been, never will be. So, when you get a job, if you're cleaning toilets at a restaurant, well then the reason that somebody can pay you to clean those toilets is because a sale was made out front and somebody bought something to eat. And that's the way it is with every business. And so if there are no sales, then there is no money. And so that's just how it is. And we're all salesmen and we're all self-employed. And some people would say, oh, I'm not a salesman, and no, I'm not self-employed. But the truth is, yes, you are. You sell yourself to your spouse. You're selling all the time. And everybody is a salesman. And how I got started in sales, and it's kind of a funny story, but when I was young and I was in high school and I got pretty well straight A's all the time. School was always a breeze for me. But anyhow, so one day I went to my electronics class, and Errol Mon, he was my teacher, and he said, he picked me and one other kid, and he said, you two, your hair touches your ear, and so it's too long, and you can't go to this school, so you have to go home, and you can come back after you get a haircut. Well, so I already had a job working after school at a gas station, and I did, change tires and whatever. In the olden days, they had service at service stations. Anyhow, the guy I was working for told me I could work full time. I could have the day shift if I wanted it, because the people he had working were drunks, and sometimes they didn't show up for work, and so he figured he'd be better off if I was running the place. So he gave me a raise, told me I could run the place, and so he paid me $150 a month. Well, I was 17 years old, and so I never went back to school. But anyway, after a while, going to work every day and that, and I was doing okay. But anyway, one day, my boss that owned the gas station came by, and he said, I want you to close the station down. He said, and I want you to go for a ride with me. He said, now, you're still on the clock. He says, don't worry about, he says, you're making the same amount of money, so he says, it all pays the same, so just do what I tell you. And so I got in his car and closed the gas station down, and there was nobody. The gas station was closed. There was nobody there. I mean, I was it, right? And I got in his car, and this was in Logan, Utah, and he took me downtown to a residential area, and there was houses and that. And he pulled off the side of the road and got out of his car, and we walked back to his trunk, and he opened up his trunk, and he had all these boxes in there, and he took one of these boxes out, and it was a little carpet sweeper, and he said, now this is a Hokey carpet sweeper, and it's brand new, and he said, I've just got the United States exclusive distributorship for this. He says, so I want you to go knock on these doors. He says, now don't try to sell any. He says, don't you even try to sell any, not a one. He said, but I just want you to go to these doors, and when the lady answers the door, I want you to show it to her. And he says, and I want you to show her that you can pick up salt off of a bare floor, and I want you to show her that it'll pick up off of her really clean rug that's already really, really clean, and I want you to show her it'll pick up the broken carpet fibers and dog hair and cat hair and stuff that her $800 Kirby and Hoover, whatever, didn't pick up. He says, now, if they just absolutely got to have one, If they just, he says, if there's no other way, they're not going to let you out the damn door. You can let them have the one you got in your hand for $20. And I said, okay. He said, now it all pays the same, you know. He said, don't you worry about it. He said, I just want to try this for an hour and then we'll go back to the gas station. And I said, okay. So I knocked on a few doors and a lady come to the door, and you know, and I'd say, man, you got a nice looking carpet there, ma'am. And she'd say, oh yeah, I got this $1,000 vacuum cleaner, man. It's the best thing. She says, and I says, well, see this? And I'd open it up and show her that it was empty and it was clean and there was nothing in it. And I'd go, and pretty quick it'd be full of crap. And I'd say, look at what that expensive $1,000 vacuum you got missed. And she says, oh my gosh. She says, well, how much are they? And I said, well, I'm really not supposed to sell any. I said, but let me show you something else. And I went in the kitchen floor. She had a nice linoleum floor, and I'd dump some salt down, and I'd go and pick it up. And because in those days, most carpet sweepers just scoop it forward, you know. When this picked it up. And I told her, I said, you know, this has a genuine boar hair bristle brush, and it works on static electricity going through these combs as the brush rotates, and it just sucks that crap right up. Even carpet fibers and cat hair that your vacuum can't get, because this is using static electricity instead of vacuum. Well, anyway, so I went door to door, and I don't know, for an hour or so, and I sold a bunch of them. I don't remember how many. And anyway, I went back to my boss, and he said, well, he said, that's enough. He said, I just wanted to see how it worked for an hour. And he said, we can go back to the gas station now. And then we got in the car, and he took me back to the gas station. We got out of the car, and he handed me a $100 bill. And he said, now this is your commission for that hour. He said, you sold quite a few. And he said, you earned this $100. He says, now, if you go back to the gas station, he says, and I'm happy. He says, you can work that gas station the rest of your life if you want to. He says, and you can make that $150 a month. And he said, and you can do whatever you want. Choice is totally yours. He said, but I'm going to organize a crew, and I'm going to go coast to coast. And I'm going to have big trucks that keep everybody stocked. And we're going to sell these things to carpet stores and linoleum stores and hardware stores. And he says, we're going to sell them 10, 20 at a time, 100 at a time, whatever. He said, we're going to sell the shit out of them. He said, now, if you want to come with us and be on this crew, he says, you can make $100 an hour just like you did here. And he said, you can do it in any town in the United States. He said, you can do it Monday through Friday, Sunday through midnight. He said, it doesn't matter the time of day, doesn't matter the town. He says, it's $100 an hour cash in your pocket anytime you decide to do it. He says, now, do you want to do it, or do you want to stay at the gas station? He says, either way. He says, no pressure. He says, either way, it's good with me. Looked at the $100 bill, 1 hour. Looked at the gas station, $150 for a month. Didn't take me too long to figure that out. So that's how I got introduced to sales. And so, you know, sales is where the money is. And, you know, it's, you know, sales isn't pushing a broom. You know, sales isn't digging a ditch, you know. So sales is where the money is made. And any company that has any product whatsoever, the only way they make any money is if somebody sells something. So, you know, that's how it is. I mean, that's just how it is. So, you know, when you're deciding about a career, you know, and you want to, you know, go to college or whatever, and you know, if you know, go spend 4 years, and you know, you can, you know, get a job that maybe pays, I don't know, 50, 60,000 a year, whatever. And you know, if you go for 8 years, you know, maybe you can be a doctor or something, make twice that. Although my doctor says the money's gone. He said if he'd have knew how crappy it was going to be, he'd have did something else. So anyhow, when you decide on a career, you know, and you decide, you know, how much money you want to make. I mean, it's a choice, you know. You can say, well, I want to work at this gas station for $150 a month. Of course, that was, you know, 50 years ago, and so, you know, be a lot more money now, but still, when, you know, if you work for somebody else, you know, you just get, you know, whatever that job is worth, you know. You know, you got these dimwits that think they should get paid $15 an hour to flip burgers. Well, you know, flipping burgers isn't worth $15 an hour, you know. So, you know, and they say, well, I need at least $15 an hour to live, and that's in poverty. Well, that's not my problem. I don't give a shit if you're in poverty or if you're not. It's your choice, not mine. You're the one who decides you're in poverty. There's only one way to be in poverty, and that's if you want to be. Because if you don't want to be, you get out. So, and maybe sometimes it takes you more than a day or two to get out. You know, sometimes it might take you a year to get out. You got to figure out a way. You got to have a plan. You can't just stay being stupid all your life. You know, there's plenty of people that'll do that. So, when you realize how things work, and that everything revolves around sales, everything revolves around sales, all of it, the whole thing. So, you know, you say, well, I don't like sales and I don't want to do sales, and that's fine. You know, you got to, you know, believe in whatever you're doing, or else it's not ever going to work anyway. Now, that carpet sweeper, that was, you know, brand new. It was a super invention. Nobody had ever seen anything like that before, and boom, 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 they sold easy. So, now, if you wanted to start your own company and sell a product, well, that'd take a lot of money. You probably don't have that much money. You know, it might take hundreds of thousands, might take millions, you know. So, even if you want to, you know, just, you know, buy a business that's already, you know, you're going to make it for sure, like a McDonald's franchise or something. You know, it's going to cost you some money. There's only really one way to level the playing field, and that's with network marketing. And with network marketing or multi-level marketing, everybody has the same opportunity. Nobody has any better opportunity than anybody else. You know, somebody says, well, that guy's lucky. Well, that's not it at all. You know, there's no such thing as luck. Luck didn't have anything to do with it. He made it happen. So everybody is on the same playing field. And so, you know, today the government regulates multi-level marketing businesses quite heavily. So pretty much you can be assured that they're not a pyramid scheme. They're a legitimate business. And, you know, so, you know, you find one that has a product that you like, or one that, you know, you get excited about. Now, like for me, if somebody tells me they can have some skin cream that'll take the wrinkles out of my face, I really don't care if my face has wrinkles in it or not, so I'm probably not going to buy any. And so, you know, and if I don't use it or like it, then I'm probably not going to be able to tell anybody about their face either, because they're going to say, well, look at your face, and I'll say, well, I don't use it, and they'll say, well, and I'm not going to use it either. So, you know, so that wouldn't be a good product for me. And, you know, so, you know, you could say, well, I'm going to sell $20 bills for $10. I'll sell quite a few of them, won't I? Well, sure, but you'll go broke. And there's one guy, his name is Jordan Adler, and he wondered how much people would pay for a $100 bill, and he says, he says, I think I can get people to pay $1,000 for this $100 bill. And they said, oh, you must be crazy. He was at this event, and they were doing motivational speaking and stuff, and he said, I'm gonna auction off this $100 bill. And so somebody bid $50, and then when it got up to $100, you know, the audience is kind of silent, because they're like, well, who's going to pay more than $100 for a $100 bill? He says, well, I'm going to add some value to it. He says, I'll sign it. Of course, he's a world-famous motivational speaker, and, you know, he's made multi-millions of dollars and over decades, and he's world-famous. And people pay him a lot of money just to talk. So, that added some value to the $100 bill. So pretty soon, the price of, people bid up to $150, $200, $300, $400, $500, for this $100 bill. And then he said, I'll tell you what, he said, I'll get my whole staff to sign it. The whole staff, office staff or whatever. And anyway, so then people bid a little more. And anyway, he stopped the bidding at $1,000. And then when he got the $1,000, he gave it to charity. And so he sold that $100 bill for $1,000. Later on, he did it again, and he sold it for like $25,000 or something like that. And then one time he actually sold it for $1 million. $1 million for that $100 bill. And so, of course, he gave the money to charity, and he didn't need the money. $1 million, he's got plenty of millions of dollars. So, you always don't know, how much a product is worth, and sometimes you can add value to a product and make it worth more than it even was to begin with. Well, anyhow, so I chose CBD oil because it's got incredible medicinal qualities, and I mean, a few drops of CBD oil, and can stop somebody that's having a seizure in just seconds. And sometimes an epileptic that might have, 100 seizures a month or something, take CBD oil and might only have one a month or maybe none a month or whatever. And it doesn't have THC in it. You can't get high or stoned or anything like that. And it's legal in all 50 states. And, the company even has coffee and, hemp-infused coffee and keto creamers and stuff too. So, got some good products. But the main thing is in building an organization. And, if you was to get a penny for every loaf of bread that was sold in your state, well, you'd probably make quite a bit of money. So you can make a little bit on a lot of different people, and but it takes time to build that lot of people. So, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme, and you're not going to, be rich by Friday, but the only way to fail is to quit. So, you can decide if you're happy with the job you're in, and if you make plenty of money and you don't need any more money, and you just absolutely, if anybody give you any more money, you just give it back. Say, I just couldn't use another penny. I've just really got so much I can't even stand it. Then, maybe this isn't for you. But if you'd like to earn a little bit more money, you can make as much as you want. Now, if you want to make a couple $100s a month, it doesn't take very long to start making a couple $100s a month. And, if you, want to make, 5 or 10,000 a month, it takes a little longer. But like I said before, the only way to fail is to quit. So, what happens is you tell a few people, and they tell a few people, and they tell a few people, and, if you get your pencil out and figure that out, a couple of generations or 3 or 4 down, you got 1,000 people, and you're making money on all of them. So, and, you make more than $1 on each of them, so, there's more than $1,000 a month just right there, and you just told a handful of people that told a handful of people that told a handful of people like that. So, sometimes, in fact, quite often, people quit, and, they say, well, I can't do this. And they don't see the vision, They thought they was going to be rich by Friday, and here it is Saturday afternoon, and they're like, well, I gave it a shot. I tried it, and it doesn't work. I can't do it. So, but, the thing about it is, it's a business, and you treat it like a business, and you have to advertise, and you have to have some business card, and you have to tell people about it, and and it takes time, and you just keep building, and you get one person, and you get another person, and you get another person, and you get another person, and then people start getting some people and stuff like that, and, pretty soon you're making money, and then there's other bonuses that kick in and stuff like that. So anyway, that's what I wanted to tell you, and, it could be the answer to what you're looking for, and, You got to be committed. If you just say, well, I'm going to try it for, several hours and see if it works, or I'm going to try it for 16 days, and if I'm not rich by then, I guess I'll quit. Well, it's probably not going to happen. And so if you're realistic about it, and you realize that the business builds and builds and builds and builds over time, and that over time you get a lot of people. And I can show you how to get a lot of people. So, and the people in my downline know how to do it. And if you come in, you'll know how to do it too. And so My Daily Choice has a sales funnel, and you send people to your landing page, and these people, they type in their name, and then they get to see what's in the page, and if they're interested, then they do it, and if they're not, they don't. But the company sends them emails, over time, not just one, but keeps sending them, so that sometimes it takes a person a month or two to make a decision. So the sales are closed for you, and I get people that, they upgrade to affiliate, and I get an email that said, while I was asleep, somebody went and took my free tour and became an affiliate, and so that's always good to wake up to that. And so I don't know who they are. I've never met them. The company sold them. I didn't. And so that's how it works. And so if you like this video, then like it. And you can subscribe to my channel. I've got videos about other stuff too. And so have a good day.